And three, two, one. Welcome back, everyone, to the Word Traction podcast. This is not a FIFA wrap up because we're still have some beautiful game to go, but it's essentially the four teams that have made it this far are four of the six most likely to win the tournament. So what this lacks as far as a beautiful event that takes place every 4 years is a lot of the intrigue that's generated when a long shot gets in the midst, and that goes doubly so where betting. If you watched any of the games, you can't have missed the fact that there are Bet365 and every other logo known to man, other than FIFA, are plastered all over every single square inch of every player playing surface and an overhead plane. So it's really I'm not new to the sports gambling space, but to see this exposure where there's already been 8 billion wagered, and we're not even close to the finals yet. It's staggering, and it's a reminder of just the scale of it and the velocity at which it has grown. This sports gambling, or the availability of gambling on your phone, whether it's on elections, poly market, prediction markets, or sports gambling. It's something we're going to have to reckon with pretty soon. A lot like recent stories from the beautiful land of Oz, from Australia, about how these are stories brought to you largely, I think, by Mark Zuckerberg. How the initial reports of the program to reduce the amount of screen time for children have been a magnificent failure. That's what Zuckerberg would like you to think or hear or feel, because they, of course, they don't want any burden shifting. And Australia did a magnificent job saying, no, you can figure out the age verification thing. We're not expecting you to get it 100% right day one, but you're making enough money, figure it out. And you have the technology to figure out every other effing thing. And oh, by the way, between the time that this program started in December and now Meta has announced launching their own prediction market. So they are wedded to the devil themselves. That isn't affecting the children in that market unless they're doing that in some sort of sneaky way. And of course, children are going to get a workaround on that because they're smarter about these things than we are. They should be, and we're grateful for that fact that they're ingenious and they'll figure out a way around that. But if we can protect half of them, and then 65% of them, and then 75 over the next few years, in using Australia and the brilliant work that's being done in the EU. It's a model for the US with the World Cup being the main subject. It's important to note, though, that any reforms that are good for kids, as far as limiting access to sports gambling, prediction markets, or damaging, plain old fashioned social media and the IG reels of it all, that the chance of limiting that in the United States while Donald J. Trump is president is pretty tough, because these same all men that run these businesses and own them are beholden to Trump in a deeply corrupt and meaningful way. So they aren't going to make the changes by themselves. And even if Congress grew some courage which I don't anticipate, will say, "Oh, I'm sorry, R.I.P. Lindsey Graham. May you rest in peace and be with your Lord, Savior, or whomever. And my condolences to your family. You were an absolutely miserable senator and bad for America, bad for kids, and bad for Israel, who you profess to love deeply, and miserable for certainly for Muslims around the world. But travel well, and come back and get Mitch next week. So I did my Sunday sermon there, all condensed very neatly in a little package. Yeah, so here we are at the World Cup. We'll be in quarters, semis, and finals coming up over the next number of days, and on a appreciation for the beautiful game, and as I professed early in the World Cup schedule, I am not a soccer slash football completist, rabid fan, but everybody gets a little bit of a boost during World Cup because there are so many amazing, purely, separate out the corruption, the sports gambling, and all the other challenges and the ice of it all. And it is a magnificent game. It is, and it's one that plays very well on TV these days because of 4, 5, 6, 7G, whatever level of the level of specificity you get on the field, being able to enjoy viewing the seams on the ball before these very talented young and possibly young men do what they do. It's been magnificent. I've enjoyed it a whole bunch. My uh, my my allegiance at this point would have to be with England because of so many of friends for over the decades that are diehard, rabid, as you know, fans are dedicated all over the globe. But I'll probably give a little lean, and also from a if you're going to participate in any wagering, you're of legal age, right? And you're going to participate in any a little flutter, a little wagering, then if you're going to try to get a number, you could probably do a little bit better with the England side. I haven't updated. What I was looking at this morning was just the final four of it all. And of course, if you could have said that if you subtract England and add Brazil back in, right, where, and then a couple, two steps away, you have Portugal and whatever happened to Germany, and then why Italy that never even got here, the what ifs. But this final four, it depends what you want. If you want a little bit of disruption, uh, you want to excite the betting markets with an underdog story. You ain't going to get it here, except in the miserable ways that happens, which is by injury. But you will see some of the world's greatest players, and perhaps with Messi, people have argued that the greatest of all time, you know, is uh, is Mr. Messi, who, if you live in Miami, you get to see him more regularly. And for the Argentinian fans, I don't need to say any more because enough has been said. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm pleasantly surprised on an overall tournament basis that Trump and DHS and Mark Wayne Mullen and Stephen Miller haven't fucked the tournament up more than they have. There was the indignity of the way that the Iranian team was made to stay in commute from Guadalajara to their games in the United States, and they said, "Oh no, we lifted it. You lifted it on the last game, right?" So, congratulations for you. Yeah, and Mark Wayne, you probably saw some of his pressers about talking about the Iranian team, and I'm glad that they're out of here. And maybe I did a little happy dance when they got eliminated, which is all the perfectly wrong examples about the sportsmanship that this tournament is supposed to engender. We have, we're reminded Mark Carney is a wonderful human being, where our president is not. We're reminded that President Sheinbaum in Mexico is a brave woman, brave human in a in you would say nearly impossible and very challenging circumstances, and trying to do her best too. From a purely from game performance perspective on a team level, you can look at the defensive performances put forth by Spain and Mexico were magnificent, right? It was, keeping a clean sheet through a tournament like that with so many distractions and other great players and unknowns and Donald J. Trump in the middle of it. Just to that alone, for my some people are more frontline oriented, and maybe I'm more backline, because the only time that I played competitive soccer was in a winter indoor soccer league team. That was uh, that was very recently. That was about 45 years ago. So it was great because it's played in you know in in arenas that were set up for ice hockey. So there are boards, and you can make use of those boards and turn soccer into a game that more closely resembles American football and or hockey itself. It's and there are a lot of similarities. You take the dynamics of soccer and basketball, and you think about picks and rolls and such things, and you take hockey and you layer it over the top. There are a lot of similarities, and if you can also run over another human being at high speed at the same time you're playing, it's very very rewarding. But that's for a 15-year-old kid or whatever that was. Very enjoyable. I'm going to delight in this. Did I pick up anything? Does that tell me that the second rated defense, Mexico, was scored on three times by England? Does that tell me that there's still a measure of upside to the scoring potential of England when they reach the next round? That's something I'm going to take a look at, because I don't bet. Well, if I have a $5 wager, I don't. But I enjoy the analytics of it, the and the AI of it, and trying to see if you can find an edge in a competition like that. It's kind of fun, and then you can brag or cry or used to be drown your sorrows, but I don't do any drowning. So that is long in my rear view mirror. Right. So Johnny Infantino and Trump, we don't have to relitigate that, because corruption breeds corruption, and the corrosive effects of that spill over and don't just affect the one corrupt event, right? The Trump's inserting himself to make the red card go away, and then the U.S. team got curb stomped by Belgium, perfectly good team, who subsequently got curb stomped themselves. So it's a fitting end. I don't celebrate the loss for our players, I don't celebrate any losses for our country because Donald Trump is a big enough L for all of us to, if that's what we're looking for, we already got all the losing we need. Johnny Infantino, Sepp Blatter that came before him, are magnificently corrupt. They have to do some work because the advances in VAR and obviously their talent acquisition skills when it comes to the referees was not tip top. Then there was the U.S. kicking out the one referee from not Ethiopia, but the neighboring country, Somalia, just because he was Somalian. I guess the main reason was he was Somalian, and thereby he may be a cousin of Ilhan Omar, and that's why Donald Trump made sure that he didn't get in the country. You say, could it really be that petty? And then look at a picture of Trump and listen to him run his mouth for 3 minutes. And then you wouldn't ever ask that question again because it's all about petty grievance. And the Trump family got magnificently wealthy again over this stretch. The ticket resale, the dynamic pricing. The only thing dynamic about it is the opportunities to fleece event attendees for more and more money, and also limit the resale market such that the way that it's set up is if you are part of any resale market and you want to have a valid ticket to resell, then you have to kick back money from every subsequent sale to FIFA. And I respect that part of it about, you know, uh, a revenue capture part, but the intended or unintended, or probably more intended consequences of that is because of the time, the way that they managed the release of the tickets, the increments of the days between the release of particular tickets for particular rounds, and in specific venues that were going to be able to demand the most money for the tickets, New Jersey and otherwise. It's all a big corrupt game. You've heard 1,000 stories about there. There will be postmortems, and the finding will be FIFA, Trump, corrupt as fuck, but I kind of enjoyed the soccer or the football. So that'll be the 95%, I think, review on the event. And again, I'm doing this far too early, post mortem on an event that isn't dead yet. It's kind of like this is my McConnell cast. But enjoy what's remaining in the tournament, and appreciate any notes, any subscribes, any shares, any restacks would be great. And be back, vacation schedule at the end of this past week. And it'll be a little bit choppy this week and then back the week after that in normal good stead. So thank you. And any ideas, notes, encouragement, hate speech, hate images, hate whatever you got. I am undaunted and at the same time appreciative of all the engagement, and you all are great, and enjoy your Sunday. Thank you very much.